Okay, so couple of things. I'm back in Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and this is one of those cutting mats that Fern was talking about. And I have these because I use them for dividers in my scrapbooking, and I just put labels on them. I can cut them with, you can cut them with scissors or your cutting blades for scrapbooking. But anyway, so yeah, if you put that in between the pages, there's a little bit of a texture side and then a really smooth slick side. Put your slick side up and you're ready to go. And it's thin enough that it gets almost all the way to the crease of your page. Not quite. But for this book, that doesn't matter. All right, I am working on the Queen. And let's take a look at, I've got other stuff on this table because I've been crafting. All right, the Queen here has various colors in her outfit. So I was saying that I was following along in here until I got to the Queen, and suddenly I was like, nope, I'm going to do my own thing. So let me show you what I have done already, and then what I was working on. I've already done the King and Queen of Hearts. Okay, whoops, sorry. This is cool. This is what just fell over that I caught. I put my washi tape in it. So the ones that are seasonal that I don't use all the time. I digress. So anyway, there's the heart. So I picked this for the King of Hearts, Queen of Hearts. I will do him in black, white, gray for a Spader Club. Unless it's the diamond. I don't know. Well, you know what? We'll look to the back and see what they suggest. Oh, it would be the spade. So I'll do him in the blacks and stuff. I have noticed the picture in the book cuts off like right here. It does not include all this. So that's another thing that I have noticed. But yeah, so that's what I've done on that one. If you want to follow along and do it exact, you can just pause here. If not, then that's fine too. No big either way. This is the one I was working on. I will tell you, inside the sleeve, I used the middle color and the darkest color. I did not use the lightest color. And can you see my little tick marks on there? That's telling me what is going to be in those reds yet, so that I don't keep flipping back and forth in the book. So I just took a pencil and came around and made little marks. And again, it just keeps me from having to flip back and forth to see what's what, because a lot of times it's hard to tell. So in showing you how I do the ticking, and I am using the Crayolas, I've got red, orange, red, and maroon. Okay, so I will refer to those as lightest, middle, and darkest. So write those down if you need to. Red, orange, red, and maroon. So I know that around this is that color. I know that around there, around here, around here, around all these little curlies. So I tried to map it in first. Does that make sense? I'm going to do, and this is where I can flip and look. I can flip to the back. There she is there. Again, that's probably not going to help me as much as flipping to my other page that I've already done, because it is a storyline. I want to try to make sure that I carry through the same in all of them. So I know her headpiece, and this one looks a little different, so I'll have to decide if I want all that to be or not. It could be that it's just not showing in this one. So I probably will go ahead and do all of that. Then this just gets to be a big conglomerate of stuff. And see here, I didn't go around these flowers. But I think what I'll end up doing is maybe doing this in the two colors like I did inside the sleeve. So why don't I've shown you how I map. Let me show you how I color one, and then I'm going to go back over and color that one to help you some more. So when you're doing this, make sure I'm in. I do my lightest color. Don't go all the way to the top because I want it to be darker up there. And this is a directional piece. It's got long lines. So that's why I'm going that way instead of doing little bitty circles, okay, or ovals. Go around this. And you're going to go all the way down. And then you're going to get the other end, all this. In fact, I do need to do this because I will do a little bit right here in the next color because there might be a little bit of shadow from her arm on that area. And you'll do this end down here just like we're going to do up here. So, second color. And you can see how that is a little bit darker. And I'm getting a little more tooth out of the paper. All right, I'm going to do some here just because it will pop that shoulder forward a little bit and make her look just a little bit more dimensional. Okay, then up here, I'm going to leave the very top corners not done. Can you see that? Those corners right in there. The reason being, I want to add some dark up here, but if I fill in all the white, then it's not going to have anything on the page to grab onto. So now my third darker color, that's where I'll get in here and do the bits. Those little bits, you know how I like to do triangles and corners, indentation areas a little bit darker. See there? And it just makes it look like it's tucked up under. I can also come down here. This is not a real big V, it's just a little one. But I can go a little bit darker right there. Just a bit. Then I'm going to come back with my lightest. And I can come back in here and put another layer on here. Get rid of some more of that white. Yeah, if you're not on my coloring book group on Facebook, it's called Coloring Books Keep It Clean. It is an all-female group. It's kind of like our little safe space, but all the pictures are like no skulls, witches, curse words, stuff like that. It's a very light-hearted, pleasant group to be in. It's pretty quiet, but we seem to be okay with that. We have work in progress Wednesdays. We have what you doing Fridays, and it doesn't have to be coloring related on Fridays. So we have fun. So anyway, there's that. Let me go back to this one. And let me show you how I would go around that. Okay, so whenever I tell you that I'm just using the other two colors, the light is already right here, this lighter shade. And if I do it there, it's just going to look the same. We want this to look like it's pushed a little further back behind this. Okay? The reason for that is we have this is draped over the top. We can tell that because of this right up here. So I come in with my second color, which is my red, and I think I'm going to come down to here to start with it. So this is just the red. See how I'm leaving a bit of white on the sides? That's where I'm going to come in with that maroon, because I want this to end up being darker than what's beside it. If I don't go darker, then there's no depth or dimension to it, and it's just going to look flat. There we go. Now, this could be leaving a little shadow right there. So I'll leave a little bit there so that it will accept that maroon. I will probably do the flowers with a glitter gel pen. Hey, I'm winging a lot of this. I really don't know on some of it until I get there. And I'll show you now how I did this grass along the bottom too. Okay? So now I'm going to go to the darker color, and I'm going to come up into, and see, I'm holding that pencil down pretty good, trying to really get some pressure on there. I stop from time to time and raise up and look through the camera just to make sure that, through my phone, make sure my hand's not in your way. Now see how that's looking like it's underneath? So if you want something to look underneath something else, then whatever you want on the bottom needs to be dark next to whatever you want on top. So this is what's on bottom, this is what's on top. This edge needs to be darker than this edge. Just coming right up the side. Now I've come up far enough that I'm going all dark. But did you see I had this in the second color and then I went over it with the third color so that that transitions from the dark to a new color to the medium. Because you don't want to jump just from this to this. Remember how we talked about being in an attic or a basement, and you take steps and gradually get to those other colors? You don't want to just jump right off and go into the deep. So that's what that was for. I'm doing a little in there just because I missed some spots. And it will help give a little bit more depth. Then down here. And right here is not really done well. So I'm going to come back with my second color. And I'm going to do up this side again. And anywhere where I go over these flowers, I will either erase or my gel pen will take care of it. So I'm not too worried about it. And see, I'll even go up in here with the red now over the top. And now it gradually goes from the darkest to this second medium color that I'm using. So take your time, get your stairs of color built in there if you're looking to get depth. All right, if you're on your phone and you slide across the top of where my channel and stuff is, there is a place where you can drop a little donation if you'd like to. Just allows me to get new books, try out some new products. But anyway, all right, so then now I'm looking and I'm thinking, well, what should this be? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the second color only right here in these big areas. And then I'm going to go to the dark. I don't want to do the lightest shade because again, this is even further down underneath. So we need to go darker. And then yes, I did color over it. It's got just enough color in that middle section already that I just did that it will not go dark, but will make it darker than what's next to it. So if you're doing something that has many, many layers, you've got to lay your colors out so that you can go from a dark to a light. And I took this same pencil and just went over this can because it was drippy paint. And if you're in the land where everything is hearts and all that, I just kind of assume it would be red. So who knows? Oh, I guess the back of the book does, where the pictures are. But anyway. Now, to make this look like it's even further behind the can. So yeah, I'm not coloring a bunch of this with you this time. A bunch of the actual outfits. So that's where I would say do take your time and go in and pull out or put it on pause if you're actually following along. I'm going to take Cocoa, it's a brown, and we'll see how this does. Right up next to it. Because I want it a little bit darker around the can. So that the can looks like it's in front. So if you do this, make sure that you're grabbing a brown that is more of a red brown and not a purple brown. Does that make sense? So I'm looking on my wall at my color chart to see, and I don't really have a good example of it, I don't think. No, I don't. I need to do a lesson sometimes on colors. In fact, I may do that right after this. So you might get a lesson in color next weekend. So, but anyway, there's that. So again, there's that one. And then this one that I did not finish, but I do have it kind of swatched out. So just flip back and forth and see what's what. Yeah, I think you just saw part of a background I'm going to be doing too. And then there's the other one. So yeah, so coming up is going to be a background on this page. In fact, I'll probably do this one next. So yeah. All right. So this is what's coming up for your next video. Talk to you later. Have fun doing that queen in all of her shades of red. Bye.